What is up? It's Whitney, bro. And for today's video, haven't done one in a minute, so we're going to be doing a episode of Talking Shit with Wit and a good old-fashioned anti-haul. So if you want to hear me rant about things that I'm not going to buy, you're in the right place. So if you've never watched an anti-haul, specifically if you've never watched one of my anti-hauls, I just go through trend mood. I'm sure that's what everybody else does. It's the easiest thing in the world. And I'm going to be putting the items on the screen that I'm talking to you guys about. Scooting myself this way so that way the item can regularly be on the screen as I'm talking about them. And it doesn't have to be awkwardly like small because I'm in the middle. So scooch to probably the left when you're watching this. Alright, so for the first item, we have the YSL Make Me Blush Powder. I'm not going to be buying these, one, because I think YSL is overpriced. I think you pay for the packaging, and which I would rather have kind of shitty, chintzy packaging and it be a bomb product than have over-the-top packaging and kind of like a meh product. I'm I know they're going to be at least $40, and I'm not paying $40 for a blush. Ain't doing it. Next up is the Frosty the Snowman collab from Colourpop. Gosh, they're so disappointing on their collabs lately. It's so sad because especially when they do collabs that have the potential to have really cool colors or have the potential to have a really cool theme, they make it lame. I'm going to put the palette on the screen because that's mainly what I'm talking about. Some of the shimmers are really pretty. They do have kind of a duochrome effect, but the mattes are very boring, very basic. Like, there's nothing to represent the little girl that was in this. There's nothing to represent his signature hat. Like, the shimmers are the most exciting thing about that palette. Apparently there's also a snowman-shaped sponge, which seems kind of like a choice, we'll put it that way. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is the new Major Dimension Eye Illusion eyeshadow duos from Patrick Ta. Again, this is another instance where you're paying for the packaging and the embossing of the product. Is the product actually worth what he's going to charge? $42 is how much 2 eyeshadow shades are going to be. $42. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Up next is the 1969 Makeup Clutch highlighter from Rabanne, I think is how you say that. It's inspired by one of their golden bags from that same year. And it has charms that you can add to it. It's probably going to be entirely too overpriced. It looks like a ripoff of Trophy Wife. I'd rather just get Trophy Wife if I'm going to get a gold highlighter. Why do I need my highlighter on a clutch? There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Maybe somebody else has the answers because I definitely don't. The next item is the By Terry All Over Glow Reflector. I think I just have beef with them as a brand because it's too much money. You'll see what's on the screen, and if they didn't go as extra with the packaging, they could maybe not go as extra with the price because it is $72 for, what does it say? It says a lightweight formula that sculpts, shapes, and defines the skin with the smooth finish of a liquid highlighter and the weightlessness of a powder. I don't care how weightless it is. I ain't paying $72 for it. It better apply itself on my face for $72. The next item is the Ambient Lighting Edit Palettes. In general, just anything from Hourglass. I mean, obviously, this item is what I'm talking about specifically, but I don't think I'll ever buy anything from Hourglass because it's just not... They don't seem like they give a shit about black people, and when they're called out on it, they try to do it for like a foundation, but it's like, if you're going to make dark foundation shades, you as a company, you also need to make dark blush and bronzer shades so that black people and dark skinned people can do an entire face of makeup. It shouldn't only be trying to get dark skin money for foundation and then you pay them dust in every other category. Not to mention, when I've seen people use this product, there's just not anything special enough about it to justify the price that it costs. And especially because the palettes are, these palettes that I'm talking about right now are $90. $90. Let me do the math real quick. We're going to go $90 divided by 6 shades. You're paying $15 per shade, which if you break it down like that, it isn't awful. But are you going to use all 6 shades? Probably not. I know plenty of people who, yeah, they take a long time to get through, but I just feel like it's asking for a lot of money and not backing up that ask with what the product is actually doing. It's not, it isn't giving. Up next is the mini eyeshadow palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the Sugar and Spice. To say that these are disappointing is an understatement, because when I hear the word spice, I'm thinking warmth, intensity, and these colors are so bland and just lackluster. The shimmers do look really pretty, I'll give them that, but I'm not spending $29 on a palette that I'm going to use 3 shades out of. That just does not economically make sense. And honestly, Anastasia Beverly Hills is a brand I just really have not been interested in for a fat minute. They came out with that concealer that I really was curious to try, but as a whole, I just don't care. And I know that sounds really, really bad, but they're just not the brand that they once were, and they're still trying to operate like they are that same brand. And it's just, it's icky because it's getting to the point of like cringe now, where I don't know, you almost wonder like what is the goal, what is the, I don't know. They're just, they had their fall off era and they're trying to come back, and I just don't think they like, to me, if you are a brand and you fall off, you've got to come back with heat. You've got to come back with something jaw-dropping, iconic, and they have yet to do that. And I haven't wanted to make a purchase because I'm just bored. I'm just bored in general by the brand. Another Patrick Ta launch I wanted to bring up in this is the collab with Barbie. I just think it's too much pink. Barbie was so much more than pink. Barbie also used blues and yellows, and having like one pink thing I get, but the blush, the cream blush and the powder blush look like they're the exact same color. I really don't understand the point of that. Maybe all of his things are like that, where it's just a cream and a powder and they're the exact same shade. That seems a little stupid to me. I would prefer them to at least be different shades but complementary to one another. And again, the packaging looks cheap. The packaging looks like Claire's packaging. I'm not going to buy it. I know it's been out for more than a month, so some of this stuff, depending on how often Trend Mood is posting, might be a little bit late in regards to me now talking about it, but it's just not anything that I'm impressed by, and it's not anything that I don't think you need it. I think everybody has a blush that shade possibly 1,000 times over. You certainly don't need a cream duo, and you really don't need that gloss. I love Barbie, and this is not something that I care about getting, nor will be getting, obviously. So this whole fucking video is. So the next item or collection that I'm going to be talking about is the ColourPop and Stranger Things collab. The picture up here is going to be the palette specifically, but as a whole, I think this collab is about 6 years too late. I think had this collab come out when season 1 came out, it would translate a lot better, because everything that they've used to represent Stranger Things within this collab, I'm going to try to pop a few more pictures. Everything that they've used comes from season 1. And it's just a little bit stupid because those things from season 1 have not been relevant since season 1. So like, what are we doing? Why are we... And I also was kind of disappointed I didn't see anything that represented the like Demogorgon or Vecna or any of that, which I'm like, that's the whole plot of the show. The villain, the evil guy, and you don't have anything to even touch on that. Everything's from season 1. The palette, I do like the shades that they picked. I will say this is the least disappointing collab as far as color story is concerned. I definitely feel like they redeemed themselves a little bit with this one in comparison to their other collabs. However, it doesn't necessarily make it a good collab just because the story, you know, it's like you raised the bar, the bar was here for you and it's now here, but good is still up here. So like, you know, I just think ColourPop relies a little too heavily on collabs. As a whole, ColourPop as a brand just seems they seem very lost. Like they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what their identity is. They don't know who their target demographic is. And that's obvious in the collabs that they pick and choose and how they execute those collabs. So that is going to be it for my Talking Shit with Whit anti-haul. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does help. If there's any brands or anything I didn't talk about that you're curious of my opinion on, go ahead and just drop me a comment below. I'd be happy to respond. If you are a returning subscriber, I really do appreciate you more than you could ever know. If you're not a subscriber, we should fix that. Go ahead and hit the button below. If you liked my makeup look in this video, go ahead and click on this video here so you can see how I achieved it and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!